And are we the non-prophets? Sure. I can say I'm Denis Loubet, along with Jamie Boone and Kevin Stein, coming to you from the Free Thought Library in Austin, Texas on the 17th of November, 2019, but those are just names and places and times. They're not the essence of what's happening. The names themselves are meaningless. The place is foreign. The times in our future and likely in your past. Do you really know more now than you did before? Likewise, I can tell you that this show is sponsored by the Atheist Community of Austin, a non-profit educational organization for the promotion of positive atheism and the separation of church and state. But do those abstractions reveal the true nature of the situation? I can also insist that if you want to learn more about the ACA, you can call their voicemail at 512-220-6561 or visit their website at www.atheist-community.org. But that merely pushes ultimate comprehension back another step in an infinite regression, exposing nothing. Saying that the Non-Prophets broadcast live every first and third Sunday of each month from 3 o'clock to 4:30 Central Time seems like it should impart confidence in future events. But does it? We have failed in the past to meet this simple task, and doubtless we shall fail again in the future. How much of your anticipation and self-worth can you hang on this endeavor, fraught as it is with human flaws and technical hurdles? Would entreating you to join the Non-Prophets chat room by following the directions at www.nonprophetsradio.com ease your doubts? I think not. But as questionable as this all is, there is but one way to engage, if not ultimately answer, these questions, and that is to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
All right.
Is it?
Or is it?
That was so relaxing.
Yeah.
I got the impression I droned on a little on that one, but it was fun.
I'm very at ease now.
Yeah.
Good.
I enjoyed
I
that.
feel so calm. Let's maintain that at least until the first story. Any
yeah,
big
right.
news from you guys?
Well, let's see. We are recording, what is it, November 16th? Yeah?
Yeah, I think this is out on the 17th.
Yeah, this will be out on the 17th, but it is my brother's birthday, my oldest brother, so happy birthday.
Another successful orbit. Good.
There's a lot that we don't see eye to eye on, but I love you, so.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. That's all I've got.
Well, gosh, a listener bought a shirt from my store.
Yay!
Hey! From Japan.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's pretty cool.
Mr. Tagawa.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Thank you. And so, yeah, that was a welcome message I received
gonna say,
last night.
where could people find
Where
your
could they
store
do that?
if they were looking for your store?
Just remember mainqueststudios.com.
Side quest?
mainqueststudios.com.
Yeah. All right.
Very cool.
Yeah. Well, I have stuff on my own channel going on. Jamie
Awesome.
the Heathen on YouTube, and that same name on all of the social media I could possibly grab. And there's a video coming out. It should be in the next, what time is it? 24 hours or less.
What's the subject matter?
Death
Death?
All right.
and grieving. It's actually, it's kind of heart-wrenching, and I'll be sad in it. But hey,
Right.
video made, so
Yes.
Well, congratulations on that.
Sounds heartfelt.
yeah. I'd like to be... I decided I want to be happy today. So then I came to do the
There you go.
Non-Prophets and report on how things are going with religion in the news.
I wish we had happier stories for you, Jamie.
One day I'll find one where it's like, oh yeah, Pope goes, oh, maybe we did something wrong sometime, maybe. And then that'll count as good news.
Happily, we have an audience today.
Yes,
do.
that's true.
Yay.
Hey, guys. Yeah. And if you wanted to be in our audience, you could come down to the Free Thought Library at 1507 West Koenig Lane. Pretty much any given, every first and third Saturday or every Saturday before the first and third Sunday, because we had one where there was a Sunday on the first. And
It was
all kinds of-
confusing.
but show up on the.
It's going to happen again at the end of this month.
Oh, yeah. So basically, the Saturday before the first and third Sundays of the month, and you could get to sit where these fine, lovely people are sitting. So.
Speaking of the Pope, I didn't.
Wait, what? The who?
Backtracking for just a minute, I did see a little thing.
Yes, the Pope is in our
Didn't
audience.
End up covering it. Well, we're not going to cover it, but he did decry Nazis recently.
Oh, well, I'm glad. That's a bold stance.
I'm glad
to take.
he went out on that limb.
It's a
Damn.
time. Is he going to apologize for the asking people to celebrate, the church asking people to celebrate his birthday every year that he was, or the first treaty between the Third Reich and being with the Vatican? And
No, he just said Nazis are bad. So
Okay.
Sorry, everyone.
Don't be a Nazi or you're going to have a bad time.
Sorry, we helped enable them. Sorry.
yeah,
Well, I don't think he said that. He just said they're bad.
Well.
yeah.
Oh, he didn't apologize. Well,
It's
then
not
screw
really,
it.
It's not really the way
Like I
the church
said, I
goes.
didn't do a deep dive on it. We're not covering it
right.
in
What
an
if-
official capacity on the show. But
What if we
did
just
remind
got angry and speculated wildly? That seems to work for Fox News. So
and Alex Jones and
Oh, yeah.
other people.
the response videos are coming. Jesus.
You've been lied to, people. Wake up.
You're being lied to by everyone else. Buy my merch. I mean, listen more for information. Yeah.
It's the only way to fight the globalists.
Yeah, I was going to say, that clip is going to come back to bite me when I have merch and I'm selling it. I'm like, so buy my merch, but not in a sellout way.
Please, no.
So what's our first story?
Yeah, let's. What do we want to cover first? Dennis,
Dennis,
that's up to you.
Huh?
Yeah. We've both thrown hot potatoes to you, sir.
I gave you free reign.
Yes, you
Choose
did.
whatever you want.
Too much choice.
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's go with this one.
All right.
That one.
Okay. Ohio House passes bill allowing student answers to be scientifically wrong due to religion.
Yep.
Columbus, Ohio, WKRC. Ohio lawmakers are weighing in on how public schools can teach things like evolution. The Ohio House on Wednesday passed the Student Religious Liberties Act under the law. Students can't be penalized if their work is scientifically wrong, as long as the reasoning is because of their religious beliefs. Instead, students are graded on substance and relevance. Every Republican in the House supported the bill. It now moved to the Republican-controlled Senate.
Dennis, this is my surprised face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. It looks like you're absolutely not surprised.
Let's do as much damage as we
I was going to say.
possibly can.
How? Okay.
So how is religion relevant to science? I'm curious.
And also, who benefits?
It correlates inversely, 1 to -1 usually.
Yeah.
So this story is basically students can be scientifically wrong as long as they're theologically right.
or as long as they've.
Well, no, as long as they've got a rationale for their bullshit.
I mean,
answers.
come on. This is just entirely unfair to the current students, right? When I was in school, I had to figure out some way of making my answer sound like the actual right answer. And then I went to college where I learned if you start an answer with, that's a bit reductionist, actually, and then ramble for about between 20 and 30 seconds, people will think that you know what you're talking about. But these guys can just say Jesus a bunch and get the same effect.
All right.
They're making
They
stuff
just
up
say
off the top
Jesus
of their
and they
head.
pass
It's
the
got
science
Jesus.
test.
Well, actually, the reason that I don't have to take this chemistry test is because if I'm a Catholic, and therefore I believe in the literal transfiguration of wine into blood, which defies science, therefore give me an A.
This is like science class, Burgundy participation trophy.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the participation trophy or a medal for science.
Yep. Well, all I can say in a few years is don't drive over any bridges in Ohio. Because apparently they're held up by faith now instead of engineering and math and science.
For a second, I thought you were reading another story, and I was like,
No.
Oh, now they've voted that you don't have to build a bridge using science as long as you pray for it.
If you can get through with religious answers to scientific questions, then you can build bridges on religious faith.
So I think there's a slight stipulation that it has to have been that they were taught this in an official capacity.
So they have to be officially wrong.
Yeah, they have to be officially
wrong.
Officially indoctrinated by the state, but not.
Here's my certificate
I don't
of
like this
indoctrination.
timeline.
So as long as the state indoctrinates them with the wrong answer, the federal testing cannot tell them that they're wrong, is my understanding.
Wait, how is the state gonna get away with officially teaching religion?
I mean,
you mean
at a state level is what I meant.
What? At what level?
At
So
a
it's
state level.
if they went to Jerry Falwell's indoctrination for pre-K through
Is that a state
high
thing?
school. No,
Well,
no.
this
But
is
if
Ohio right now.
So my understanding is that in Ohio, the law is that if you presumably went to a religious school,
Yeah.
or any.
Then that's an
or
official
any
teaching?
school,
Yeah.
is that an official?
So I mean, we've talked
If
about
Jesus
this.
is the answer to everything, I think I could get a perfect score on the SAT.
No,
That's all I'm saying.
we talked about this before, and I've said there is no advantage for us as a country to be,
Or a species.
Species, yeah.
So if you want to make America great again, making our students,
Uninformed.
uninformed, purposely uninformed, is not the way to do that. How are we going to compete in an international level if we are purposely dumbing down our curriculum just to accommodate Christians or a minority of Christian zealots?
Yeah.
That doesn't help us.
No, not at all.
There's no good answer.
Your cell phone doesn't work because of Jesus.
I mean, careful.
God.
Remember, it was a couple weeks ago or a couple episodes ago. The Vatican released the electronic rosary praying machine.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, careful. They might release a Jesus phone. Don't give them any ideas. Yeah. It works within the less than 1 square mile that is Vatican City.
But yeah, I mean, so we can't. We're being less and less able to compete internationally, and there was an initial problem, I guess, that people who are religiously indoctrinated aren't able to, cut it when they try and go to and qualify for a real, university out of state or otherwise. And now they're carving out an exemption so that, you're incredibly ignorant in terms of just science, but we're going to waive that so you can get into a real university. Even though you shouldn't.
Okay, they say scientifically wrong. Would this work in English class?
I don't think it's possible to be scientifically wrong in English.
Well, I mean,
I don't mean to be.
Is there?
I feel like this episode is going to be me shitting on it.
Is it actually limited only to science classes?
I think so.
Probably.
That's my understanding.
That's good.
I'm just waiting for the person who was told by their pastor that the Earth is flat.
That'll happen.
Yeah. It is inevitable.
That'll happen.
It is inevitable that flat earthers are going to have their crazy bullshit just waved off as if it doesn't matter.
Want America to be a third world country? This is how you make America a third world country.
Do you want ants? Because this is how you get a third world country. I feel like for me, it's at the point where it's difficult for me to take these stories seriously because it's just so far beyond the pale of everything. Because they've tried for years and years and years to change, teach the controversy, strengths and weaknesses. I think there's a third way they've described. or tried to get evolution described as a thing in textbooks.
Yeah, they've already passed the House.
But it's passed the
State
Ohio
House.
Yeah, the State House. And
and it's going to be going to the Senate, and it'll almost certainly pass.
yeah, it's that.
Why wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, again, I have this weakness of attempting to answer rhetorical questions. What if we prayed that it didn't?
Well, you have to get at least 2 people praying about the same thing.
I thought it was 3.
Well, the
So-
Bible says it's 2.
Yeah.
Any
Dennis,
theists listening to this broadcast,
for the first time. Hi, welcome. These
Do us a favor.
Have a high level of sarcasm.
yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. It's good that you mentioned that there are times when religious schools don't prepare people for the world. If you give someone only the tools that you need to exist in a world that isn't real, you teach people only about the religious teachings that haven't changed for hundreds of years. Then suddenly they come into the 21st century and they don't know how anything works or how to function. There are private schools to teach incredibly conservative sects of Judaism, their children. And there are children that are high school age and above that trying to further their education in America that don't speak any English and don't know the alphabet.
Yeah. I was actually going to say
That's
that
incredibly detrimental.
if you weren't about to say it, I was going to bring up, the Orthodox Jewish schools.
Yeah.
People are coming out of there.
The
they don't
Orthodox
even-
Jewish schools.
Yeah, they don't even know the English language.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, not
anything. They don't know anything except for the Torah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
No.
you don't get to call yourself a school if you're not teaching anything, but
And
your Bible.
And I'd like to say that I've never called myself a school. So, but
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's that. And it's sort of like, well, they've come to a point where reality disagrees with what they think. In some cases, so obviously that they just have to change what the test is. Hey, make sure that you vote and participate in your society and the broader discussion as much as you possibly can.
If this happens, it won't. If this gets through, it won't stop with Ohio.
No, it won't.
Certainly
If
not.
you would like to support the nonprofits or any other ACA shows, we all have our own Patreons, and you can find the Patreon to support this show at patreon.com/thenonprophets. Every dollar helps.
Yes, it does. And I'll also register to vote.
Yes, do that.
Yes.
Register to vote, and then go register to vote again under a second name.
No.
That's a joke. We don't support, voter fraud. Wink.
No.
I'm gonna mute your mic.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm
God.
gonna hang up on you.
Ugh. Yeah.
But
Man.
No. I'm done.
yeah. So
We
that's
just need everybody to vote because that's the only way to overcome the
Yeah. Yeah, New York passed
cheating.
ranked choice voting recently.
hey.
Yes, that was awesome.
It was exciting.
I didn't hear about that. That's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah. We'll
Until
see how that
now.
works out.
yeah.
Should be cool.
Yeah. Well, that was awful.
Have it
What else have we got?
Who's got the good news?
Yeah. Who's got the good news?
You want me to take this one?
Oh, I can do this.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Hit you.
All right.
This was your best shot.
Missions Group says story of American missionary life and death has inspired others to enter mission field. Oh, no.
It's ringing a bell, isn't it?
Oh, from what you asked earlier.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, no, please.
Is this the guy that he died on the
This
island?
weekend marks the 1-year anniversary of the death of missionary John Allen Chow.
Okay. And just for those who don't remember, what do you guys remember? The basic background.
He visited it's not technically uncontacted because it was contacted in the
Yeah.
1800s.
yeah, the Sentinelese, I think.
The South Sentinel Island. It's like 90% of the surrounding of the island is it's surrounded by a very, very harsh reef, so you can't get there by boat. And so there's a number of people. I think they said they when I did a deep dive because I was like, ooh, interesting, separate from this society. Maybe I should see if I can move there. No, so they're in 3 groups, so possibly 3 tribes there, but like they've no contact with the outside world, no technology, etc.
Well, there's only maybe a few dozen of them at all.
I thought there were. I think there's more than that.
Was there?
I think there's a few score.
In any case, there was not very many of these indigenous peoples. They have
probably
to zero,
less than 10,000.
Yeah, little to zero immunity to any Western diseases.
Yeah.
And this guy showed up trying to convert people who didn't speak the same language as him and couldn't have possibly understood anything he was saying.
Yeah, it's true. Excuse me. He didn't make it to shore.
He did not.
They shoot arrows at anyone that comes to visit.
Yeah, they kind of turned him into a pincushion. And
that's that. Okay.
Well, okay.
When your humor becomes more morbid than mine, then there's probably a problem.
Do you remember how we talked about this last year?
I have chosen to selectively forget so that I can reprimand you.
Way more morbid last year.
Yeah.
I don't think this was the first time they've violently rebuffed.
No, it's not.
No. It's not. So basically, he crawled into the tiger's mouth.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say someone like swam and then crawled on shore.
No, I'm saying he crawled into the tiger's mouth. He deliberately went there knowing...
Yeah. Well, as I recall, he knew better.
They don't want him there.
He knew better. It's illegal to go there.
Yeah.
The government of India.
So he had to jump through hoops to even get there.
Yeah. He had to find someone to hire illegally to get him there. The thing with this.
So basically, uncontacted tribe kills criminal.
Yeah, well, he broke multiple laws to, circumvent.
Sure.
Trying to get there.
I mean, there's a difference between law and morality, but it was sort of like literally every warning sign of like, hey, maybe could you not? I mean, like, we understand that you're not literally bringing a smallpox vial with you, but diseases are a thing.
There are things in your body they have no resistance to.
He isn't literally, but he doesn't know that he isn't necessarily.
He isn't. He
doesn't necessarily know that he isn't bringing.
Whatever the equivalent of
their genocide.
Yeah, I mean, to be quite honest, this year's influenza would be damaging.
Oh yeah.
So wear a bubble suit to proselytize.
How do you guys feel 1 year later? Have your opinions kind of softened? Because I
came out pretty hard on.
I was a little scathing.
Yeah, I mean. It's a bad idea. You're gonna have a bad time. But there's this notion that I've heard people that I'm close with express that it's kind of this unspoken like, the virtue of the uncontacted peoples. Mm-hmm. And like I get it, right? Like a person who is growing up or born in, for example, a tribe in the Amazon rainforest where that's more accessible, suppose, but has aged even just 10, what life would they have in modern society? Right?
What, the people of the island?
Raised the people of the island, especially. Yeah. Like even if, cool, there's one magic vaccine, all of the diseases and disease problems are gone, and a super duper program to teach them languages of the modern world.
Right.
What life really is here outside of
whatever they do on the island.
Whatever they did, yeah.
If we believe in the sovereignty of, peoples to...
I mean, so there's that. There's the political, which is, like, it's I can't remember what the international legal designation is. And I'm not an international law professor,
neither am I,
so I'll probably get it wrong, but I think it's
up to them to declare what constitutes an invasion. And if even one guy enters their sphere, they can say that's an invasion and defend themselves.
Well, I think so. I mean,
to an extent.
You get into really interesting questions of international law if that's your status, because part of the problem with the Israeli-Palestinian, one of the components of it is recognizing statehood or the legitimacy of a state.
Right.
I actually haven't checked on it in a while, so I shouldn't say anything specifically. But
we should do a dive on
just
that at some point.
Yeah, we should. Having a group of people that all say they're in the same group isn't necessarily the same as being a country. Right.
Well,
the Principality of Sealand, you get your odd technical argument for its nation statehood, but which is a little platform.
Yeah, the only reason those people are still there is we haven't found oil on their island. So,
well, that's just a cynical, realist joke
it is
about this. I was talking about the theoretical, ideals of nation states, and then you just pointed out that, all of the, legal theory and philosophy kind of goes out the window when there's enough oil.
Yeah,
right.
None of that matters if we can, use them somehow.
Real baby.
Yeah, so, in 2040, the treaties over Antarctica that stopped drilling for oil.
Yeah. So let me continue the story.
Yes.
Yeah. In an interview with CBN's Newswatch Thursday, Dr. Pam Arland, an international team member of the Kansas City that's Missouri? Missouri-based missions group, All Nations, with which Chow was affiliated, said the young man's example has inspired others to pursue missions work. Yay, more people going where they're not wanted. We are so pleased to remember John Chow and the amazing love that he had for a people he never met.
Okay.
Fuck you.
Hang on.
Arlen said, and so 1 year after his death, we are asking ourselves, how can we best honor his death and honor his service and sacrifice? So we've decided the best way is to continue to do what he did, which is to share the love of fucking Jesus.
Are they going back to South Sentinel Island?
I think you added the fucking...
They can't stop us all. Let's rush them.
When
actually they can.
CBN News asked Arland about the safety of its missionaries, she replied, all nations, like all missions agencies, is constantly addressing this issue. We care about the safety of our missionaries. Yeah. But we also have to balance that with the fact there are 7,000 people groups who have never had the chance to hear that Jesus loves them. Arlen continued. So we're going to continue to go hard to those places where people haven't yet had the chance to hear about him. Arlen also said that Chow's story has inspired some people to enter the missions field.
Well,
I feel bad for asking this after you've thrown it on the floor.
All right, all you 7,000 uncontacted people, sharpen your fucking arrows.
You were going to say?
I was going to say, I think we've topped last year. But was it a direct quote? She said, we're going to go hard to those places? Are they trying to, paraphrase, go hard in the paint as, a lyric from a song?
I don't think so.
No. I just, I'm
what
sorry.
Are they saying?
Unfortunately, that's the most surprising thing about this story to me is, they used a phrase that might be a reference to
So we're going to continue to go
raps.
hard to those places.
Yeah. I think they might be surprised to learn what they've inadvertently referenced.
So, in terms of it's a loving thing to do, no, it isn't, because according to their theology, if you've never heard of the Word of God, then you can't go to hell. But if you learn about it and then don't become a Christian, then you do go to hell.
Right.
So you're an asshole.
So that's true for some Christians, but # not all Christians.
We're going to barge in where we're not wanted.
Here we go. I'll be angel's advocate for this
Get up
episode.
in everybody's shit.
Yeah. Well, so if you're theology, which is not an uncommon thing in soteriology, you have to have heard the word of Jesus. Yep. They are zealots. They have the way that they operate, and the rest of the world is irrelevant to that.
Well, circling back to what we were talking about before, yes, that you are inflicting a pretend disease, which is hellfire, but you're also inadvertently afflicting them with actual diseases. You carry pathogens that they don't have immunities to. You're an asshole.
So, yes. Sure, the effect is bad, but what I will say is if what you're referring to as love is the feeling that a person has, then sure, that person can feel love for all peoples and have euphoric, constantly positive thoughts. But so does a stalker. So
thank you.
Yeah.
I was gonna make
because you feel really, really good feelings and you want the best for someone doesn't mean that whatever you think is best is best.
That's a freaking perfect example. Thank you.
I was going to use something
great
actually,
analogy.
Yeah, way more crass, like
Yeah.
beats their wife or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, stalker's good too.
Yeah, but because I don't know. I've never beaten a wife I don't have. I was about to say,
I can't speak from experience.
Spousal abuse.
But I hear,
Man.
Who are you hanging out with? I know we haven't hung out in a while, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure I like your new friends here.
Colloquially, I hear that.
Weaponized arrogance. It's just, God.
So no lessons were learned by
No.
by the
Of course not. Double down.
The Christian community learned no lessons here. Is basically what we have learned from that article.
I think what we've learned from that article is that death is nothing to a zealot. Because the person that dies in the service of their faith is a martyr. I'm just really glad that there's no Christian-friendly instructions on explosive vests.
Well, cut to the montage of...
It doesn't take that long before you drop a pipe bomb in an abortion clinic, because if that's the murder of millions of people, you'd do a lot, right? What would you do to stop the Nazis? Right. That's what a zealot that was following through their reasoning would do to stop abortion.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Please don't
Beliefs
show this.
have consequences.
Please don't show this part to any of your fundamentalist friends, because that's not how I want to get through to them. Oh, actually, you should be bombing abortion clinics and assassinating people to stop them if you really think it's evil.
Cut to the montage
Don't do
of
that.
natives, native peoples practicing their archery.
They're hunting and stuff.
So actually, speaking of abortion clinics, very
That's
recently,
the weirdest transition.
Also,
don't do that thing I said. No violence. Don't do anything bad. Abortion
so recently,
is fine.
do you remember the pretend investigative journalist people who did the Planned Parenthood sting,
they're chopping
and then,
up babies and selling selling their body parts.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That was years ago.
Yeah.
They're at it. They started Project Veritas, didn't they? It's super credible.
Because
it has Veritas in the title,
and it's in Latin.
Hey, woo!
It's fancy.
It's Latin truth.
There was actually an update, but I couldn't find anything on it that wasn't from a Christian news source.
Wow.
One of the defendants, his case is going to a jury trial, and it's not looking good for him. So that's great.
Good.
Is it criminal or civil they're going through?
Criminal, I do believe.
Okay. The other one, do you know whether the other one just reached a plea bargain?
I do
probably?
not.
Okay. Well,
in any case,
excellent.
Yeah,
we should dig in and follow that as it goes.
When that pans out, we'll end up doing a thing on it.
Yeah.
And because it was really stark for me to see the Christian broadcast headline of bad news that this awful thing is happening to this noble truth teller that exposed the baby chopping selling operation. It was just disgustingly backwards.
Yeah. Basically, double down on the slander and
they're analyzing this is what came out of the trial, and we're just gonna completely flip on its head, and that'll be our headline. Okay, that is the exact opposite of what the trial said, but whatever.
I was gonna say, when did we fall down a rabbit hole into this dimension? Can we?
I'd like to wake up. Sucks, now. Man.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do we want to move on to?
What's the least? It's sort of like matching. Okay. Do we have diagrams, or did you want to do?
So I think the least horrible thing we've got is some new Pew research.
Oh yeah,
polls.
this is actually good. This counts as good news.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
good.
All right, let's get some good.
Let's kind of lift us
Let's
up a
hear
little bit
some.
here.
God.
Yeah. Do we have Pew 1, or am I reading the numbers?
We do have graphic one.
Number 1.
There we go.
Most U.S. adults want religious groups to stay out of politics. Huzzah! This reminds me of when I read the study that said that most people in the U.S., most adults in the U.S. view Christian nationalism as a threat or a problem, I think it was. So 63% answered that religion should keep out of political matters. During political elections, should churches and other houses of worship come out in favor of one candidate over another? 76%. That is basically the highest supermajority that I've ever seen in any voting system required. More than 3/4, right? And only 23% said yes, do this. So with those two questions, there's a 13% of the population, it looks like, or at least respondents to the survey, that said, okay, well, they should express views on social and political questions, but not endorse candidates, right? Which is probably the well, tell me what's right and wrong so I can determine who to vote for.
Yeah, which is good because then they would lose their status as a nonprofit.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're supposed to.
Yeah, well, this is from people who almost certainly don't know what the Johnson Amendment is or any of those details.
Or if they do, they remember Trump telling them that he repealed it, even though it hasn't been repealed. Don't remind them.
God.
It's 5 separate attempts, the last time I checked, to circumvent it. It's
You're bringing us back down.
Yeah, bring it. All right, good news. Happy fun times. Yay. So
super
is
happy fun
But
times.
there's also churches and religious organizations. And this is the one that's sort of like, okay, common sense reigns with the first two questions.
Yeah.
But the third one, churches and religious organizations have too much influence in politics, not enough influence in politics, about the right amount of influence in politics.
What does that even mean?
About the right amount?
Yeah.
I
It
would
means
be
something
interested-
different than it did 10 years ago.
Yeah, it does. I would be interested to know how much the respondents to the survey thought religions had influence in the United States. But more than a third, 1 in 3, say that churches and religious organizations have too much influence in politics. And that is a much higher.
That's
well,
good.
It's a higher proportion of nuns, even.
Yeah, we
at
got to
least
get
there's
those
that.
numbers up, but yeah.
Yeah. Although it is always a little bit concerning to go 28%, not enough.
Yeah.
Well, I saw another poll that said that Hispanics are no longer majority Catholic.
Really, in the United States?
Weird.
Yeah.
What proportion of them are Jehovah's Witnesses now? How much did they got?
I didn't cover
Forgive
it.
the phrase.
Wow.
I didn't click on it.
Interesting.
Just throwing it out there.
I'll refrain from asking further questions about the details of the study then.
Yeah.
God, that's, the times they aren't changing in a good way. Yeah. Like, there was a period of time, it was before the 2016 election, where I was like, yeah, you know what? This is the best time to be gay or queer or anything that there's ever been in the United States. Because it's like a trendy, hip thing, right? And, my nieces and nephews, when they grow up, it'll be old news. It'll just be like, oh, yeah, you're gay? Okay, cool. I'm left-handed. Now pass the salt. Which would be great.
That's the goal.
So that's the goal.
Yeah.
But, I did enjoy the whole, you can judge where society is on these things based on how Hollywood portrays these characters. They had the whole magical, perfect gay couples, magical gay friends period where gay characters were always portrayed as having all of their shit together, being in very healthy relationships, and having the answer to your problem. Much in the same way that the old protagonist would find a wise old black man to send him on his right path.
Yeah, that's Christian movies.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, well, they're catching up because Hollywood, the movies for the rest of us did that for a while too. And it's like, oh, okay, the movie makers are slowly becoming okay with the existence of black people as long as they're old and on a porch somewhere. Then it's okay. So it's, it's the first step. Maybe the...
Just hearing that is cringeworthy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not just the way I'm saying it. So...
Yeah.
But no, atheists are still... Whatever. That's turning pretty quickly, though. Lots of people like House, and lots of people like Bones.
True. Although Bones,
that's what caused the pause. Just like,
Bones did throw out every once in a while. They would throw out like a lifeline to like this woo-y spiritualist though.
oh,
Like,
Every so
come on,
often,
why,
yeah.
why are you doing that?
Yeah, there was a show that I watched most of the first season of called Imposter. That's this guy who's like a con man and he doesn't believe in God. But he ends up basically having to impersonate the new pastor that's come to this small town. And he doesn't know. Like, there were parts of it that were cringeworthy for me because he had to give a sermon and he didn't know he was going to. And I'm like, okay, I could do way better than this. Just on a spur of the moment, even specific to Lutherans, and I've not been a Lutheran. Just make it sound almost Catholic, but not quite, and then you're good. Yeah, and every now and then it didn't explicitly have like, you know, God is sending me visions like the movie Harriet, which was disappointing, but it had like, oh, he's in trouble, and he's like, oh, God, help. And then, you know, a lightning strikes a tree branch and lets him out of the trunk or something.
Oh, okay.
You know, so it had like just the right amount of, oh, but if you want to believe, lightning will help you when you're in trouble. Stuff. It's interesting to see the culture change.
Yeah.
I mean, it can always go faster, just saying. But
Yeah.
Okay.
We keep having to wait for old people to die.
I was going to say, well, they keep voting against universal health care, so they're trying to help. You thought you were going to be the morbid one this episode. Do we want to do the next pew, or do we want to?
We also have an email.
Oh, yes,
that we could cover.
Yeah.
Change it up a little bit.
Yeah, we've got Chuck. Hi, Chuck. Thank you, Chuck. You probably don't know which of the Chucks that emailed in you are, because I haven't read it yet. It's Chuck in Arizona, who I think he's sent us a couple questions before.
Yeah.
Repeat. We'll have to send him some free swag or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Well, email us again and tell us what you want, and then maybe we'll send you that or something else. Also, Jesus has joined us in the audience.
Hey, Jesus.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I had to point that out for the live audience. Come see us record. It's a great time. Jesus will appear to you literally right there. So Chuck in Arizona says, for neatly
give me a
divisible,
shout out to his dad. That would be great.
Chuck in Arizona or Jesus?
Jesus.
He's his dad. He's his own grandpa too, probably.
Oh, that's true.
So Chuck in Arizona writes, when Ray Comfort asks, have you ever told a lie? The answer should be irrelevant. The topic is sin, and to sin is to disobey God. But God has never given me any instructions, and all the people who tell me what God wants admit that they themselves are such liars that they deserve eternal torture for it. Since I have no way of knowing what God wants, disobedience is impossible.
Yeah.
I have a different take.
I would say I like this email, but I would have, if it was a group effort, I would have said, change disobedience is impossible to obedience is impossible. Because you have no way of knowing what he wants, so you couldn't do it even if you wanted to.
Yeah. I have a different take, but it's specifically about Ray Comfort.
Oh. We just did a dark ranty segment.
So, I've heard this, I think probably No Illusions said it best. I'm going to try and reiterate it. If the metric that you're using, such as have you ever stolen anything, have you ever told a lie, have you ever done this or that, and that metric doesn't disqualify anyone on the planet. If everyone falls into that category, it's no longer a useful metric. It's just a synonym for human. And it's useless.
Good point.
If sinner is synonym for human, then your metric that you're trying to use to say, oh, well, you're a bad person and you need to turn to God is completely useless.
It just means you're a person, you need to turn to God.
And Ray Comfort, as we all know, is an idiot and a hack.
Yeah. Well, another way,
nice guy reported.
If they ask you that question, you respond, well, have you ever lied? And if they say yes, then you go, why would I listen to a liar and walk away? I mean, it's
well,
their whole point diffuses their whole point.
I think you would say yes, but but I've repented and I've turned myself over to God, and that's
Doesn't matter.
That's why I'm going to go to heaven, and that's why you need to. Yeah. Like, well,
so you never lie now.
Well, again, your metric is everyone, so it's useless.
The Dennis, you definitely respond to people, or at least talk about responding to people differently than I would. Although if I was being cheeky, I'd probably say something like, "Oh, I've told the truth too."
Right, I'm a truth sayer.
I'm a truth teller.
Yeah,
I do that more often than, when I get asked by a niece or nephew if Santa Claus is real, right? Which is a lie. So
yeah, I mean that's my take. That's what immediately popped into my head, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
You could also simply say, "No, I've never lied," and then it's up to him.
Yeah, it doesn't directly address kind of the broader.
Yeah, it doesn't directly address
question.
Ray Comfort asking about whether you're a liar. I mean, really, this response is about how can I be expected to hear and understand God's words when he doesn't talk to me directly, and all the people that he speaks through talk about how they're terrible, unworthy, lying fools or whatever, deserving of eternal fire, etc. It's like, okay, well, how can I trust you? If you're so imperfect and flawed and bad at interpreting God's will, why should I believe you about God's will?
So you have to rely on unreliable narrators, I think, is the term.
Yeah. I think Matt has touched on this as well in some other shows where he points out, like, okay, so sure, God's word is perfect and holy. It's this perfectly clear water. But in order for you to interpret it and get to it, it has to go through an unclean filter. So you will never have a perfectly reliable account of this. Because you'll always be using your own sinful, sin brain.
Yeah, and so you can't ever know if you're doing it right.
Yeah.
Right. Wonderful setup there.
I was going to say,
it leaves Christians in a bit of a predicament so long as they bother to think about it hard enough.
Wow.
And that's kind of the, so long as they think about it.
Yeah. Sorry, I withheld a dirty joke, so I'm smiling to myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you just keep that inside.
Okay. Well, now that's a challenge for me to say it. Just if you're oh God, here we go. Get demonetized. I thought that if you were doing it right, they would shout, "Oh God, oh God,"
Doo-doo.
Yeah, but it's the moment's gone now. That was very amusing for me to have that bouncing around in my head. Where you're like, it puts Christians in a bit of a. I think you said did you say a tight spot?
I can't recall at this point
or something. Like, or a hard, I don't know, whatever. There was something else that you said that got me spinning about this, and now we've derailed Chuck from Arizona's excellent topic.
Yes,
for us.
Well, it's a long, hard path that they have to go down. And I wish them luck.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to save us?
No, I'm.
he wants to watch us awkwardly go. Okay. These secular atheists always talking about sex and being obsessed with it or whatever. Thank you, Chuck from Arizona. Do actually email us. We'll send you a shirt or something.
Yeah, thank you.
Good point.
Mm-hmm. So, do we want to jump back into the Pew polls, or do we want to do something else?
I'm having trouble reading that at an angle, so I can't tell how much it's going to depress me. So I guess
we'll see how bad it gets.
This is how organized we are.
That's what I thought. Okay,
so the excellent TV, even better radio. All right, so let's go to Pew number 2. So for those of you listening at home, this is the results of a Pew study that showed the title of which is just over half of Americans say GOP is friendly toward religion.
Seems obvious.
I was gonna say friendly, like right. I don't. There's a stronger word that you need to use. I don't know. But anyway, so there's 3 categories to answer, which is friendly, neutral, unfriendly. And they asked about the Republican Party, the Trump administration, the Democratic Party, the Supreme Court, news reporters and news media, and then university professors. So oh wow, you can just, if you turn it this way, it's just they go down as far as the proportion of the United States population that believes that the Republican Party is friendly to religion, which is more than half, 54%. For the Trump administration, less than half of Americans think that it's friendly towards religion.
Wow.
I mean, maybe they're thinking about this differently than we are. Because to me, I'm like, that's as friendly as theocracy is as friendly as you can get.
Yeah.
Religion, but
maybe
actually,
they're worrying it's
is,
not going to be theirs.
I was going to say the opposite is true, really, because theocracy is there's one religion, middle finger to the rest, right? But a secular government is, at very least, treats all religions on equal playing field. So as long as it's also not oppressing them, it's nicer. But in any case, then there's the Democratic Party, where just under 1 in 5, 19% of people say that it's friendly towards religion, with about half saying neutral, 48%.
Which is how it should be. It should be neutral.
Yeah.
Right, secular.
Yeah, secular. I mean, you should decide policy based on values and reason, not...
Right.
If people think you're being neutral towards religion, then that means you're doing things right.
Yeah.
So...
Because you know, neutral. I think we've covered this.
Yeah.
Secular, good, theocracy, bad. Okay, so...
Hard stance.
Yeah, but there's about a third, 31% of respondents say that the Democratic Party is unfriendly to religion.
Unfriendly.
Which, I mean...
They're mistaking
Yeah.
secular with anti-theistic.
They're mistaking, but I don't get to break the law because of my religion. The Supreme Court, I'm happy to report that just under 70%, 69% of the respondents say that the Supreme Court is neutral towards religion, which is good. Although it's a more realistic view of the Supreme Court is that it has just become much more, quote unquote, friendly to religion now that there's...
It's nice that that's the sentiment. I wish that was more correct.
Yeah, I wish that people were right. And then news reporters and news media. Only 10% of people think that the news reporters and news media are friendly to religion. About half, 54, saying that news reporters and news media is neutral. And then 33% say the news is unfriendly to religion, which actually is just 2 points higher than the Democratic Party. Huh.
Wow.
I was going to say, the Democratic Party is slightly less viewed as a villain to religion than the news. Although I guess the news's job is to report facts, and the Democratic Party is trying to curb theocracy.
Yeah,
so we now know which of these is a greater threat to...
the news isn't there to
mollycoddle.
To talk about good news about religion. It's there to report the bad things that happen.
I mean, they have a love fest every time the Pope comes to town.
Yeah.
But
and then we've got university.
And then we have university professors, the least friendly of all. 37% say that university professors are unfriendly to religion. Over half, 54%, saying neutral, with just 6% saying friendly.
So what? They all watched that stupid movie?
Which one? I think they're coming out. Did they come out with a third?
What, God's Not Dead?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got 3.
I don't think I've seen the third one.
Oh.
We'll have to do a GAM night.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
God Awful Movies is a great podcast. You should check it out after finishing up the day with all of the ACA shows.
Yeah, especially the last two, the two organizations that are, people who are supposed to be bringing you facts and knowledge and the truth about the reality around us.
Yeah.
Of course, they're the biggest threats.
Yeah, education and information are threatening.
Mm-hmm.
Watch out. It's you can find the pictures of, there was the church sign that said, the more educated, in quotes, we get, the further we get from God.
That's very telling.
Well, reality has a non-theistic bias.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I was going to say, I bet that sign made it as a meme around the internet more for non-believers and like atheist activists than for believers. Don't get educated, don't learn, doesn't really
Yeah.
It's not a great sell. It's like the church sign that said,
but it's what they want.
Satan was the first person to ask for equal rights.
Oh God, yeah.
It's like, I mean, you're not in your story, that character. Yeah, that's why there's Satanists that are like, he's the adversary to tyranny. Mm-hmm. I say, in a way, Satanism is more American than fundamentalist Christianity. And if I don't get sound bitten with that clip, then
I was gonna say, wow.
I'm not in public life. So, yeah, I just mean in terms of values and individual liberty. Because one of these two religious viewpoints says, obey the king, no matter what, period. Don't think about it.
Right.
And the other says,
don't throw that tea into the harbor.
Yeah.
The other one says,
stand up to tyrants.
Yeah, think of yourself.
Yeah. I don't know how many Jefferson quotes you need to pull out to be like, yeah, the tree of liberty must be watered from time to time with the blood of tyrants is a choice favorite.
Yes.
Whatever.
More true now than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
So do we want to go to numbers?
I would actually...
Judges or gay?
I would actually like to cover this because
Yes.
we kind of missed the boat on it last episode. This was from November 1st.
Gird your loins. All right. A proposed HHS rule would roll back LGBTQ protections in adoption and foster care. The Department of Health and Human Services proposed a new rule Friday, November 1st, that would allow recipients of federal grants from the health agency, including faith-based adoption agencies and foster care providers, to turn away same-sex couples.
Hooray!
Yeah.
So, they've been kind of nipping at this at a state level for the past 3 years, and we've covered a couple of stories like this.
Yeah.
Like, the Trump administration gave this specific, this specific adoption center or this specific state a waiver to discriminate. And I guess they got tired of doing that bit by bit, and now they're just going to try and do a blanket, okay, you can all discriminate now.
Yeah.
The proposed rule, which is still subject to a public comment period and will likely be challenged in court, strips out language specifically barring against discrimination based on sexual orientation or gender identity in favor of prohibiting discrimination to potential grant recipients, to the extent doing so is prohibited by federal statute or Supreme Court rulings.
Yeah.
Sexual orientation and gender identity are not protected under federal anti-discrimination laws, but would be under a bill passed by the House earlier this year called the Equality Act.
Yes, which you should support. If you've heard the Taylor Swift song, You Need to Calm Down, that's literally why she made it.
I remember a lot of religious groups were very up in arms about the Equality Act.
Yeah. How dare you?
Which, again, awfully telling.
Yeah. I was going to say, I don't want to be the one to say, just look at the name of the bill, because they have a tendency to
That's
use
very true.
liberty and freedom and whatever in their bills about how religion is special and everyone else and everything else can jump up a tree.
Okay, that's a good point, because a lot of...
let's look at what the bill does.
Yeah, a lot of Orwelly names are given to things. And,
oh, boy, yeah.
Or they will inject something into a bill that has absolutely nothing to do with it.
Poison the hell out of it, yeah.
Yeah.
And then that'll force the hands of the opposition to say, no, we can't do this. And then they get to say, look at this.
Look at what they oppose. They oppose protections for all the babies that are going to get murdered right after birth.
Yeah.
It's a tactic, and it works. Right.
Yeah, we're going to strip away women's ability to have agency over their own bodies, and we're going to inject that into the
but they've been doing
puppies and kitties bill.
They've been doing that forever. I don't mean to be that guy. Yeah. They've been rolling back women's rights forever. Let me tell you about this new
loving
thing.
puppies and kitties.
No, there's a specific bill that they did with that, which was like, oh, we're going to add criminal penalties and make it a crime, et cetera, for you to murder a baby after an abortion or something. And it's like, no one's doing that.
Yeah.
Stop.
A law against something that doesn't happen. Wow.
But, the Democrats didn't want to pass a bill that was aimed at protecting babies. So they just wanted babies.
So, yeah, good point, Jamie.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Under the proposed HHS rule, faith-based adoption providers will no longer have to choose between abandoning their faith or abandoning homeless children because the government disapproves of their views on marriage, said Tony Perkins, leader of the Family Research Council.
Fucking Tony Perkins. That guy.
FRC.
So, yeah, we said it earlier. Make sure you're registered to vote.
Yeah.
That's the only way this is going to get undone. Any of it. I mean, or done more. Whatever your viewpoint is, we do not endorse any candidates, but you should definitely vote. And talk to me outside of the show and do whatever I say.
I don't know what else to say.
I'll give you a voter's guide. Jamie's voter guide. These are the names. Go.
I don't know what else to say about this other than, this is fucking horrible, but it's par for the course.
Yeah.
You know? And again, just voting is the only way that we can really make any substantive change here.
Yeah. While we still can, because one of the political parties in our country has made it very clear that they don't think twice or blink or flinch when it comes to voter suppression as a tactic to win elections.
Civil liberties for some, not others, is basically what they're running on.
Yep.
Well, it's what they're showing. That's not what they're running on, but it's
they don't say it out loud.
They definitely have,
they say with their actions.
They have a press agent to spin it, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
They say with their actions, not their words. That is basically what
their words say. Liberty, liberty, freedom, Jesus.
The world we're living in right now.
Yeah. Why am I not free to put a whites only, straights only sign in the front of my business? Why is that?
Yeah.
You guys paused like you've been thinking about it.
Jesus Christ.
No.
So continuing the theme of civil or religious liberties for some and not others, I want to transition over over to this other story out of Texas. So this is a federal judge gives Buddhist death row inmate another stay of execution. This is from the Religious News Service. So an appeals court upheld a second stay of execution for Buddhist Texas inmate who was scheduled to die by lethal injection. The latest move in the ongoing battle for his religious liberty rights. And there he is right there.
Okay.
Oh, for a second I thought you were going to say, and he's in the crowd with us today. No, there he is.
Yeah, so I think we may have covered this story a while back ago, because back in March.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, back in March, he was set to be executed, and they wouldn't allow him to have, I guess, the Buddhist equivalent of a chaplain there in the execution chamber with him. And so he got a stay of execution, and they tried to fight it. Apparently, the state only has Christian and Muslim chaplains. Those are the only types of chaplains that they employ for whatever reason.
Wow, they have Muslim chaplains.
That is surprising.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, I'm not surprised they don't have or offer or want to offer anything to a Buddhist person on death row, but
I assume he converted after he was incarcerated.
Oh no.
To Buddhism?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't.
I have no idea.
They didn't go into it, but
I mean, if
we can't make that assumption.
Rights or privileges extended unless enjoyed by one and all.
Yeah, so they fought that, and the compromise that the state of Texas wound up with was, okay, well, we're just gonna say no religious people, chaplains or whatever, are going to be allowed in the room at all.
Okay.
That was their compromise. They,
I mean-
they wouldn't.
Wow.
I don't know why they wouldn't just say, okay, yeah, we'll
Well, the baby out with the bathwater in this
Well, I
one.
was gonna say, Dennis, what baby? What are you talking about?
selective.
was gonna
This
say,
is a selective religious liberty
Yeah,
situation.
Yeah.
This is TST's legal push all over the Satanic Temple.
If
If you
Yeah,
get these
if
exceptions
if
for
a-
religious reasons, so does everyone and me. And
right, if
simple
you're
as
being
Satan.
executed, you still have
rights, you're still a
rights,
human.
and there should still be some fairness involved. And if the Christians get to have their favorite religious figure with them when they're being executed, sort of a strange situation, but anyway, then everybody should be allowed to have their favorite religious figure with them when they're executed.
If I get executed for being gay whenever that becomes illegal in this country, can I just have my best friend since I'm not religious? Or like, no, because there's no visitation rights. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I was looking for a joke there, and then I just made myself sad.
No.
So,
I think they have to have some kind of official title.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt's a minister. So.
But
Oh, there you
damn,
go.
I mean, you know,
So
it's not like they can't find a Buddhist in Texas.
I'm sure that there are some.
they've got
Yes.
at least one. But he's about to die.
There's
so
planes. Like, come on, they can get a person here.
Yeah.
I mean, at the very least, be like, okay, well, we'll do this, but we're never going to do it again, and then cancel it, as opposed to like, oh, well, if we have to invite that guy to the party, then
There
we're
are
not
Buddhist temples
throwing
in
it.
Texas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's however many million people here.
yeah.
At
So
least 2 of them are Buddhist.
that was an obviously insufficient compromise, and
Yeah.
Did the Supreme Court throw that out?
we're not going to. We're just going to say no one gets to be in there, regardless of religion, instead of saying, okay, yeah, we'll actually let.
Yeah. It's
we'll just
basically
say
a petty
Yeah.
result, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
It's, oh, well, if we can't have everybody, you know, get a
want-
pastor, then fuck it all. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Murphy,
God.
Patrick Henry
Take our ball and go
Murphy
home.
argued that the state's pre-execution protocol still prevented him from meeting his spiritual advisor. I guess that's what he's calling him. While Christian inmates have access to Christian chaplains employed by the state.
Yeah. If you're going to be executed, you know,
Keywords.
you're kind of in a
Employed
situation where you need comfort.
Yeah.
And if, you know, a religious figure provides you comfort, there's no reason to deny that. It's just cruel to deny it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this part kind of blew me away. Texas attorneys argued that the protocol does not favor any religion because their Christian chaplains are encouraged to learn about many faiths
Oh,
and will listen and be
Bullshit.
a, quote, calming presence for all inmates regardless of their religion.
yeah.
And that was,
right.
that was
That's just
November.
a level of bullshit.
That was a November 7th court order.
I mean,
So he's currently got.
can you just read the sentence?
people don't fucking
Chaplains
get it.
employed by the state. One more time.
Yeah.
While Christian inmates have access to Christian chaplains employed by the state.
Yeah. That's already a problem, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just going to, like,
So
what
he's
is
got,
this, a jobs program?
He's
Come
got
on.
another stay of execution pending how this pans out. But yeah, that's
It's
where
like,
we are
oh,
right
do we
now.
really have to
Interesting.
respect his religion? Can't we just pretend? God.
That's basically what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
So again, it is selective religious liberty.
Yeah. Just petty
I mean,
bullshit.
It's theocracy.
Yeah. Yeah.
When my religion is the one that gets the government on its side, but yours can fuck off. We
Right.
call it theocracy.
Yeah, well, really, it actually, just saying the phrase religious liberty grates on my nerves because it has become a freaking Orwellian newspeak because it means
Yeah.
exactly
Means
the
the
opposite
exact opposite.
of
the
what those
opposite.
words mean if you were talking about a, American
Yeah,
context.
I am in favor of religious liberty.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not the way it's used by the government right now anyways.
Oh, Fox
All
News
the-
has a very different definition.
All the
for
religious
words.
liberty bills are
Bullshit.
really Christian supremacy bills.
Yes.
Yeah.
My answer was
really
shorter.
that's really what they boil down to. But yeah.
Yeah. So, I guess last piece of statistical, interesting, hopefully helpful news.
We're flip-flopping all over the place.
Yeah, so we've got, let's see, pew number 3. Can we get that up on the screen? So this is a religious service attenders and them trusting their pastors, etc. Or I think it was just religious figures to give them advice on different subjects. So the subjects that were highlighted here, abortion, immigration, and global climate change. So U.S. adults attend church services a few times a year or more often. So they weren't going to ask me. The percent who say they have confidence in their clergy to provide useful guidance to help inform their opinion about, when it comes to abortion, 39% of people say, oh, a lot. The clergy is going to give me, I have a lot of confidence in their advice, and then an additional 30% say some.
Okay.
And then, so the net of a lot and some people that will listen to their pastors on this is 69%. On immigration, 20% say a lot, 44% say some, because the clergy are good at talking about policy in regards to immigration, which is 64%. And on global climate change, that thing that's going to, we need to handle, only 13% said their clergy have a lot of confidence in their clergy on this subject.
Wow.
And with an additional 36%. So it's just under half of respondents. But, I mean, I haven't seen any studies on where these numbers used to be, right? How much confidence people used to have in the advice from their pastors. But certainly with abortion, at least, the fact that a lot was only, it was only 39%. But I would have thought it was higher, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know.
I guess I don't know what public opinion polls are on abortion, because to me that's not a popular question. It's a question of individual autonomy.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah. I don't think it's a controversial thing either. But
no.
Well, how do you ask it?
Yeah. Well, that, and it's been interesting with immigration, because throughout the Old Testament and the New Testament, there's all kinds of passages ripe with, oh no, be kind to strangers.
Right.
Strangers in a foreign land, man, bruh. This is the hippie Jesus. And
but
the
you
response,
can ignore all that.
Yeah. But the response from theocrats when they've been citing stuff in the Bible is obey the government. They're the passages that they go to, which again are abundant. But yeah, and somehow less cited by the 700 Club when Obama was president. But yeah, it's interesting to see this slowly creep away.
Yeah, well, I know what Paula Jean
it's all
White was
self-serving.
Oh God, what would Paula say?
We talked about it last time. Remember, she said that Jesus wasn't a refugee because he didn't break any laws when he was he was fleeing. Like, okay, come on.
Yeah, you're breaking breaking international law and basic laws about universal human rights. Oftentimes, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
We have a special guest.
Oh my God.
Visitation.
It's Jesus.
From Jesus here.
All right.
Who didn't like me taunting him in the
thank
crowd.
you, Jesus.
Yes.
Hallelujah. Jesus, wait, while you're...
I was going to say, you've been asked to appear on ACA shows for so long. Where the fuck you been, man?
My calendar is stacked.
Jesus, were you a refugee, Jesus?
You know, you can say that. You could say that, but, just look inward for the answers. That's all you have to do. I love you all.
Peace be with you.
Yes. I say, well,
that was a
that
thing.
happened.
That makes me feel uncomfortable.
All right. Well, I think with that, I think we're out of time, aren't we? Well,
I think we might be. Shall I take us out?
Wait.
What?
Oh,
do you
sorry.
I think we've got a little bit more time.
All right.
Oh my God.
All right.
So
Sorry, 15 minutes.
yeah, we've
15
got some more
yeah,
time.
right.
So,
We can't look at the clock.
Do we have a question?
Oh,
Dennis?
gosh, yeah, there was a question.
Okay.
I have a question. That was supplied. It was someone was wondering, what is the purpose of hell?
Wait, can you say that one more time?
What is the purpose of hell?
Okay, that was really satisfying.
to answer the
It's like, yeah, it's a place for God's employee to do his job, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
That would have to be it, right?
I mean, there's that, right? Like, there's the, it's basically, according to Christian theology, excuse me.
All pain, all the time.
Yeah, I have a cough mic. It's just, it's too far, I can't reach it. There it is. Okay. All that he would have to do is not, summon the Antichrist or birth the Antichrist. I forget how the Antichrist is in there, but
Right.
all that Satan would have to do is just like, nah, man, I'm gonna stay home and binge watch Rick and Morty or whatever, and then God's entire game plan
goes to shit,
rambling with 7-headed dragons or whatever.
Yeah. If you don't create the Antichrist, well, nothing happens then.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's one of the tenets of Satanism is Satan is the best friend of the church as he has kept them in business all these years.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not a Satanist,
the purpose of hell is also the place, to carry out the mindless and endless vengeance. Not justice, vengeance.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the joys in heaven, according to the Bible, is to look down and see the suffering of those poor motherfuckers down there.
Okay, yeah,
It's streaming 24/7 up there.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about this before about like the nature of the self and how could you possibly still
is there
be,
free will in heaven?
Yeah, how could you possibly still be you if as an angel or whatever in heaven you could possibly look down into hell and see people in eternal torment and be happy? Because I couldn't do it as a human.
I would not be me.
Yeah.
Nope.
I'd be something else, something less.
Yeah. I would definitely be a worse entity if I could look down at eternal torment and say, ha.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. They got what was coming to them. I couldn't do that now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's there's lots of parts of lots of religions that are just really fucked up.
Well, yeah.
I mean, here's the underline. But so the purpose of hell.
They don't think these things through. They say whatever occurs to them for a practical reason, to win some argument or sway some people.
And then
have to retcon it to figure out what the...
Yeah. Did you know that gravity is not 100%?
What?
Yeah. I don't really know how...
What's the gravity in hell versus in heaven? Is there more gravity?
That's a really good question, because there's a person that believes that global warming is the result of the expansion of hell to accommodate all of the additional souls.
No, why not? Right.
Why not?
It's just like, what? So if it's wouldn't the planet be getting bigger as well?
Yeah, good grief.
I mean,
is that why Pluto's small? We've been stealing all of its mass to make our hell bigger?
Well, I mean, it's bigger on the inside, so it's hard as heck.
So it's a hollow earth with hell on the inside. Cool.
I don't know, man. The Earth is an oblate spheroid, and it doesn't have hell in the middle. So...
Have you ever been there, Jamie?
No.
Checkmate,
no, I haven't.
atheist.
You're right. You've defeated. Have you ever been to France?
No.
Yeah, well, it doesn't exist now either. Boom.
There's no Australia.
Well, actually, depending on who you ask, because that theory was one that was thrown around in a conversation on, I think, Twitter. It's weird to say a conversation on Twitter, on a series of tweets about the same subject, about flat Earth.
Right.
One person's like, no, it's not flat. that's a lie from the devil. And then like 3 other people trying to win. No, it's not. God tells us it's flat. I'm like, 3 of these people are right, kind of. Right? The description of the earth includes like a dome over the earth that you can see all of. Actually, I think it's supposed to be a square or something because it has corners. I don't know.
Yeah, but they're going in the flat earth. No. Let's not even go there.
You don't want to go to the flat earth?
What?
Well, people
should acknowledge that.
people on the underside will just fall off.
No, we're all on the same side. It's a one-sided.
If it's a globe, people on the underside will just fall off. So there's no Australia.
Yeah.
It's like
it's
all fake.
Maybe there's lots of who is it that said maybe there's lots of spiders in Australia because
they web people to the surface.
No, because that actually that's kind of funny, because like if you look at how spiders behave, they like to hide under rocks, and Australia's on the bottom of the globe.
God damn it!
Oh God,
that's so dumb.
Yeah,
I actually kind of love it.
It's like so. What is down to? What is down? Can you, the person that says this about spiders, please just tell me what down is.
When does down stop and up start?
The center of the earth. If it's down towards
just the
thing.
amazing misunderstandings of
what
everything.
If it's a flat earth, though?
Oh, then there isn't gravity. Well, okay, there's a couple competing theories.
There's no gravity.
It's density.
Density. No,
which is
Okay, no, they're...
Oh, my God. It's like
crazy.
saying there's no rainbows. It's the refraction of light portraying lots of colors. Like, yes, thank you for describing effects of gravity and how they work, and then just refusing to say the word.
I like how this turned into flat earth.
Yeah. It's so easy because they share a lot in common. The same way they argue.
Yeah.
The same way they just hold on to the belief with both hands and will never let go because it's their identity. They feel special.
Yeah. Why is there a global conspiracy? I don't know. Could be the Trilateral Commission.
Yeah. I eavesdropped on a conversation of 2 people. I'm not going to say where it was. But I heard them both saying, "Oh yeah, it was the Bible that really convinced me." When you really look at the passages in the Bible, that's what convinced me in the flat Earth.
I mean,
there's a lot wrong there.
They're reading the Bible. Yeah. Can you read the parts with slavery and genocide, and then reconsider your position about whether or not this book is good, regardless of whether it's true? Can you get there at least? Yeah.
Their model doesn't help them do anything like predict eclipses, so I can only assume they think, any predictions about a globe Earth that actually work are of the devil. So it's like...
Well, wrong. Nuh-uh. Fisheye lens. I'm working on my flat Earth arguing here.
Perspective.
It's a fisheye lens. No one's ever been in space.
Right.
NASA controls the weather.
Yeah.
They could just put a non-fisheye lens on a weather balloon themselves.
Yep. All the astronauts that all risk their lives to further human knowledge. No, they're all lying shills.
Yeah,
they're actors.
Also, flat Earth, and then we didn't go to the moon.
Yeah.
Start to bump up against each other.
Yeah.
And some of the we didn't go to the moon stuff is and during the Cold War, the United States and the USSR participated in the same global conspiracy.
They didn't launch nukes because they would hit the dome.
They would hit the dome, and then also they both said yes, the United States went to the moon, even though they both knew it was false, because that's how the Soviet Union worked when they dropped the dime.
Every space agency in the world now is all under the auspices of the umbrella of NASA.
They've been, you know what it is?
The sun doesn't exist.
Lied to by the transdimensional aliens that say that they're going to be able to rule this world.
That's so much more likely.
Make all of the people. I've now brought in some Alex Jones. Listen, I have to research people that are very, very wrong about stuff in a very, very radical way for the stuff I'm trying to do, and I've decided to share that experience with all of you.
Yeah, so, wake up, people. Yeah, this is how denominations get created. This is how religions splinter off into
other ones.
I think my answer to the question is, it's just to scare people into their religion. That's my,
we were talking about hell.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
it's
basically the stick, and heaven is the carrot, and toe the line or you get the stick.
Yeah.
Do you want to do a Christian Advocate version of
for hell?
Yeah, the purpose of hell.
Do I have to? No. Okay.
No, you're just better at it.
So the purpose. Like, let me defend their point in reality, or just like theocrat.
Well, we went off on a flat Earth tangent.
Okay. Actually, God needs hell because in order to enact and fulfill his perfect justice, people in the next life, their souls need to be sorted in a way that comports with his judgment.
Mm-hmm. So did
fire, brimstone.
So God created hell?
Yeah, God created everything.
Well, he had to, yeah.
All right.
I was gonna say, bring it. I'll cross-examine this quasi. I'm a straw Christian. Bring it on.
Well, it's all might makes right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's because God.
The core. Yeah.
Yes, it's interesting because you can use the same language if as a cult member talking about your cult leader that is used about the perfect Lord and Savior with justice, and if it seems like they're wrong, they're definitely right, and my purpose is to follow and obey them without question, and this is what's going to bring about the best world, and the life after, etc.
The problem is this suggests that Satan is doing exactly what God wants it to.
That's just how powerful God is.
So Satan isn't doing evil.
He is, though.
No, it's all part of the divine plan, which can't be evil. So how can Satan be doing be evil?
Isaiah 45:7, God creates the good and the evil.
Well, there you go.
Yes.
So God's plan, some of it is evil.
God's plan is good.
And some of it is evil.
No, his plan is good.
So
we've gotten down to the
So God's evil then.
No, God is immortal, transcendent, eternal, and also Jesus.
That is so lazy. That is so lazy.
I mean,
amazing.
I didn't prepare. I was going to see so how many more minutes do I need to give you the
it's
answers?
not the laziness of the answer is not your fault.
Oh, yeah.
You're answering.
It's amazing.
You're answering as correctly as you could.
Yeah.
I'm unpracticed.
Taking that stance. It's,
okay.
It is not your fault that that's a bad answer.
In defense of Christians, they're a lot better at gish galloping on these subjects.
Oh, yeah,
than I am,
yeah.
And presenting it in word twisty ways.
They're a lot better at being dishonest and misleading.
There's also the no, God didn't create the evil, ignore that part of the Bible, which happens even with fundamentalists, amazingly. That was mostly sincere, of just like I was surprised to learn New Independent Fundamentalist Baptist Church preacher in this reading a part of the Bible and go, well, okay, but I don't believe that part, and then go on. Because it was about how no whores will make it to heaven or something.
Wow. Did they?
He said that. He said that at the Make America Straight Again conference.
I'll just
now it's like
shit on the Bible. That's great.
How? How is this? How?
No matter how many times we say you don't get to pick and choose, they're going to pick and choose.
Yeah. It's the human.
Sometimes it's blatant.
Yes.
Oh man.
The human brain did not start as perfectly logical and then slowly evolve irrational.
Yeah. This is why when someone says they're a Christian, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Because their belief can be anything.
It's true. To me,
it's
I take it as I know that they're not a Jain or a Hindu.
Right.
Or Jewish or a Jew, I suppose, practicing.
But I wouldn't be surprised that somebody could have, say they're a Christian, but believe everything a Muslim does. I don't know.
Just
bizarre.
Wait. There's I'm a Christian, but I'm more spiritual than religious.
Oh yeah.
What's your star sign?
Spiritual.
I get asked that. There's a person that I know and am close with that will wear here's a Bible passage citation. T-shirts, some of them bedazzled.
Sure.
Because Jesus likes shiny things. That will then, it's like, what sign are you? And when I'm asked this, particularly, at home, I always say I am a water monkey because astrologically, I prefer the Chinese astrology because it's more interesting and complicated and interlocking, and there's more than 12 types of people, which is something that Western astrology doesn't get. That, and no one here uses it, so I get to be the odd one out that doesn't have to talk seriously about any of this. I was born in the year of the monkey, and water. There's two. Oh God, here I go.
All right.
But any case,
never mind.
Anyway, they're like, oh yeah, you are a Gemini or Scorpio. I'm like, shouldn't you? Okay, if you're really into this astrology, just judge my personality and tell me what you think I am.
I kind of want to get the Bible passage that condemns wearing mixed fabrics
on a shirt.
Put on a
I was gonna say
poly cotton shirt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did we talk about this? I talked about selling those.
No, I don't think we've ever talked about that.
I thought of it first.
All right, you can have it.
All right.
I just want to wear it.
I have so.
Well, you can also get tattoos about not having any.
Yeah.
Okay. Am I being trolled right now? Because that's like because it's Leviticus 19:19.
That's right. Yeah.
I think is no tattoos.
Yeah.
It's either 19 or 18 or 20. I forget which one is kill all
But
the
have
gays
that.
and which
Have
ones
that
don't have
tattooed
tattoos.
on you. Yes,
Yeah.
that would be the thing.
There's that. And then you got to get an earring with the one that says don't pierce your skin. And then you got to get like some other things, either an earring or a necklace in gold that's with the citation for don't wear gold stuff.
The hypocrite trifecta.
I do believe we are finally out of time, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say. You say that like you wanted me to stop talking and bringing stuff up.
No, I'm just trying to keep this.
You in the audience agree
moderately
so
on track.
Yeah.
Shall I take us out?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Hey, Dennis.
Yeah.
But before we go, what is your
my website? That would be
you should get one of those
www.
Screen.
Is it?
You should get one of those T-shirts made that has the Bible passage about not wearing mixed fabrics. You could put that on your website.
What? But I just called dibs.
Well, it could be the. Are you talking about the store or about my website? My website is www.denisloubet.com, and you'll see a bunch of cool art there.
Oh, that is cool. Does it include a link to your store?
Not yet, which is really bad, but I created the website using raw HTML and CS, and so making any changes is like, oh God, I gotta go back into that again.
I was gonna say, so you'll see lots of cool art, but the website itself is a modern art judgment of social media. I got your
satire.
back.
Right, that's it.
If you don't get it, then there's no way I can explain it to you. There it is.
I will take us out.
It's Main Quest Studios.
MainQuestStudios.com.
All right. Save them for me.
Well, that is all we have to say for now. Do you feel enlightened, or, as I expect, are you already forgetting this show, as you have forgotten others in the past? How long do you think we have? How long do you think what we have said will stay with you? Hours? Minutes? Seconds? Or are you already thinking about how quickly you will forget the next episode, due in 2 weeks on the 1st of December? We will have to satisfy ourselves with the knowledge that although our words may be lost in the sea of things that clamor for your attention, that we have entertained you for at least a moment in the here and now.
What are we doing, man? What are we doing?
No, you're done.